Well, what did you see when you watched the video yesterday?
Well, again, kids played hard and competed, and put ourselves in a position to win the game. We got to make some plays. I told the players, when you face adversity, when we've lost 4 games now by a touchdown, you got the opportunities. You got to look in the mirror as a coach and as a player, and look for those situations where you could have made a difference in the game, starting with me. So that's how you got to approach it, and go through the game and show them the difference of what 6 or 7, 8 plays in the game. Coming out on the top end of those plays, what it could have done. But proud of their effort. Played well in the red zone. Played well in the run game from the standpoint of the interior run game. They hit a couple speed sweeps, but we hit our run average, we hit our pass average. We gave up 1 big play in the game on the boot pass to the flat. So very pleased with what we did.
Trey Matthews just wasn't ready to play, I'm guessing, and also just how disappointing is that for him not being able to face maybe his former team?
Well, Trey practiced sparingly last week. Didn't really do a whole lot Tuesday. Did practice Wednesday, and tried to go Thursday. And again, all the straight ahead stuff he's fine. When you start moving and change direction, it creates some pain for him. He wanted to play in the game. That was our decision. Yeah, there's no doubt Trey wanted to go play. He's a competitive young man. He's a good football player. But again, it's our medical staff does a fantastic job, and feel like that he was totally ready to go in the games. Very limited the last 2 weeks practicing. Hopefully, again, he'll continue to turn the corner here and be able to go this week.
How did Stephen Roberts do in his place?
He really played well. Been very, very pleased with Stephen's play. Made a couple critical tackles in the open field, but I'm very pleased with his play.
What has he done sort of to improve and to
Well, I
get
think
good
the
graces?
biggest thing, and I told the defense today, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, Stephen started coming up during the day on his own to watch film, to sit with Blake Gideon, one of our secondary graduate assistants, and go through the film and study the film and talk. And again, it just doesn't happen overnight. You can't just always get it in the position meetings that we require you. I always tell the guys, the really good players I've been around, what did you do outside the building? Were you in the building when you didn't have to be? And that's something that Stephen's made a commitment to, and it certainly has shown with his play.
Well, you mentioned the 6 to 8 plays a game that can make a difference from the defense's perspective. What were those plays?
Well, I'll give a great example. 2nd and 9, first drive of the game. Second drive of the game. We have a call where if the back's in the core of the formation, our defensive tackle should take the back on the screen. He didn't take the back on the screen. They gained 12 yards on the play. That drive continues down to our goal line, and we make a stop. Well, that's great. But the field has been flipped. We're backed up. We punt. They got the ball back at midfield. So you look at one example of a play where if we just did our job in that situation, we got another hook and swat on a 4th down play. Probably could have been in a better position to leverage the formation. We were in position to make the play, but we could have leveraged it a little better on the play and been outside in instead of inside out on the play. I mean, just little things like that where it makes a huge difference in the game. We didn't fit the power right on the 1 touchdown drive they had, or we should have fit it inside out. The ball cuts inside of where our support is, and now instead of it being probably a 2nd and 9 situation, we're battling a 3rd and 3 situation. So, I mean, again, just little things like that you can point out on the film to show the difference in a game that's a tight ball game, and we've had 4 of them where we've had our opportunities, we haven't gotten the job done, starting with me.
Was that 3rd and about 40 or whatever it was there? Was that another one of those plays?
What's that?
They had like a 20-yard run on a 3rd.
Well, in that situation, I mean, we were in a drop 8 look. I wish we'd fit the run better, and they got I think 19 yards on the run. But given the situation, I wish they had got 19. But you want to make them punt. That's the bottom line. So we just move forward.
Well, Devereaux Lawrence looked like he was
Played his best game. He did play. He made a great play on the goal line on 3rd down. He made an outstanding play on another 3rd down stop where he's in a one-on-one situation. Continues to progress. Continues to get better.
Has he got a chance to be something special? I mean,
Well, he's continuing. You got to continue to improve. And so, again, you'd like for him to have had more production early in the year. He had plenty of opportunities. He's starting to produce now. So, very pleased with his performance.
Well, have you pretty much given up hope that TJ Davis is going to be able to do anything the rest of the season?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we got 2 more weeks before bowl practice. So, again, I think that he's a guy that, he's got to get confidence on cutting off that leg. And it's still a very short turnaround. I I mean, to be realistic, and he is out moving and doing everything we ask him to do. He's practicing, he's getting reps with our guys getting ready to play each week, and we see improvement each week. He's got to continue to get stronger and be more firm and playing and coming out of cuts and all that kind of. And again, it's been a very short turnaround from the ACL.
Because he's already redshirted, it's just the prospect that the year is gonna be burned regardless, so he can still play in the bowl or something, pretty much.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And once we feel, / our medical staff feels comfortable with putting him out there, we will.
Do you put any preparation time into the game 2 weeks from now against Alabama?
No, we're focused on Idaho and getting bowl eligible. We'll worry about that week when it comes.
Well, you're giving up one touchdown in each of the last 2 games. How far have you come from several weeks ago until now, do you think?
Well, I think we've come, a long way from certainly in the beginning of the year, and I think that we've committed to continue to make strides. Still got a ways to go. Still have, a ways to travel there, but I've been very pleased with, again, how we've approached practice, how we've gone about our business, how our preparation has improved tremendously, our practice habits have improved tremendously. But we've made improvements before that. They just didn't show statistically. That's the bottom line. We want results, but as a coach and seeing this for a long time, we made improvements before the last 2 weeks.
Is Idaho similar at all to what Louisville does?
Very similar. There's a lot of, obviously the background there, but Paul does a great job, teaching the quarterback, and so certainly we got our work cut out for us in the little film that I've watched so far.
Your pass rush against Georgia was Carlos and double teamed a lot, and how that affect what you're able to do?
No, the ball was out. I mean, they didn't hold the ball very long. When they did, it was max protection. So they did a good job of getting the ball out on time in a lot of situations, managing the game, getting to 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, running the ball in a lot of 3rd downs. So that was by design. It was hard to get there.
Well, can you talk about Casanova? Has he improved as the season's gone along?
He really has. I mean, he's a guy that's played Sam linebacker for the first time in his career, played outside backer for the first time in his career, I guess starting back at the Kentucky game. I'm talking about a full game. And has also played Mike linebacker, played inside linebacker and still in our short yards and goal line situation. So he's playing a lot of positions. He's doing a lot of things. He was our most productive player Saturday as far as point production was concerned. So again, just continues to be a very productive player.
Well, with so many Georgia kids playing for you as well as their coach, was that particularly hard to swallow Saturday to have so much of a chance to win and not get it done?
They're all hard to swallow, but certainly that's a big game here. It was tough.
Casanova mentioned that him and the other seniors on defense about leaving the jersey in a better position than he got kind of that trend this year going down the stretches. How much has that trickled up from players to coaches and that kind of that mindset, that mantra?
Well, I certainly have talked to our young players as much as anything about, making sure that we send the seniors out the right way, and I think that they've bought that and taken it to another level as far as our seniors wanting to make sure we end the right way. And I think that's very important.
How important was that goal line stand? Just because that's not something a situation that presents itself very often. I think the last time been a couple of years ago. So just how important was that from your perspective, Coach?
Well, a huge momentum swing for you. Whenever you're able to get in I always tell the players it's really important to hold them to a field goal in the red zone. That's a huge momentum killer for an offense. They drive all the way down there, they get down there, they got to kick a field goal. Well, then on top of that, making a stop, especially a 4th down stop, is a huge momentum swing for your football team. And it was really a big play. Carlton made a fantastic play on 4th down. And, of course, Devereaux making the play there on 3rd down was outstanding. And Dontavius and Montravius both had what we call a twofer. They ate up a double team, which freed up Devereaux on the play.
You talking about it fairly healthy?
Yeah, we got a couple guys banged up, but for the most part, I think Tuesday's practice will be ready to go.
Who's the third corner right now?
Blake Countess would be, and then if we got into a situation in the game, Javaris Davis, we'd pull him out of a red shirt.
Do you think it'd be important, just you talk about getting to a bowl game, but important for the future of your defense to get that extra month of practice?
Absolutely. 15 practices, it's another spring ball. You get another opportunity to really work fundamentally in technique for a short period of time before you start the game preparation. You get a good 5, 6, 8 practices to really expose your young players, which we're playing most of them, but on defense to your scheme and system and get them out there and go through it. So there's no question it's huge.
In the past, have you seen big jumps from younger players?
Oh, yeah. I was at Florida. Lucas Purifoy was a true freshman, started the bowl game. They didn't start a game for the entire season and played fantastic in the Gator Bowl. So, yeah, absolutely seen a bunch of guys make huge improvement over that time. And, you know, again, as a young player going into this, the game starts to slow down more and more for you as you go. And then you get a chance to sit back from the season, reflect, watch the cut-ups, watch the film, and it even slows down even more so. So I think that's a huge part of the growing process as a player.
Well, through 10 games, what did you make of play of Jonathan Jones? He doesn't have an interception yet, but he does have like a team-leading 9 pass breakup.
Well, I thought he was fantastic on Saturday. I think, he had 2 opportunities down the field. Malcolm's a really good player. Made a really nice play on the 1 deep ball, but he's kept his receiver cut off all day Saturday. There was a couple deep balls they had dialed up to throw there and didn't get him off. But I think John's been very steady for us this year. I think he's played well. Coming off the foot injury, we've had to hold him a little bit week to week with some pain tolerance issues as far as the pain is concerned in his foot. But he's been a guy that I think's had a very steady senior year.
Anything else? All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.